Hey, it's Christopher here with an episode of Geared Up for Summer, where I'm sitting down to talk with John Williams, the owner of Pack and Paddle, about the story of Pack and Paddle. But before we get into this video, let's roll that beautiful B-roll. John, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you.
For those who may not know, the face behind the brand, tell us your name and who you are to this organization.
Okay, my name is John Williams, and I own Pack and Paddle along with my wife, Becky.
Awesome. So one of the reasons we're sitting down today is to talk about the story. And I'm absolutely fascinated. I was just sharing with you earlier that getting to be a customer here and this was a part of my health journey, a part of me getting healthy as a lifestyle. And I had such a great experience. We wanted to come back, and after getting a chance to talk with some of your staff and here's a little bit of the story, I said, well, we've got to record this. So tell us a little bit about the origins and the founding of Pack and Paddle and that journey.
Sure. It's interesting that you mentioned your health journey and that we're part of that, because I don't know if you notice out front, our byline is Inspiring Horizons, which is like a double word for we take people to inspiring horizons and we inspire new horizons in people's lives.
Wow.
And
awesome.
So that's sort of our byline. And I think that goes back all the way to the founding of Pack and Paddle, which happened in 1974. I was 12 years old. We were an outdoor family. We would go canoeing, and we had a camp in the Atchafalaya Basin. My dad loved to fish. And my mom was highly energetic. She was a born business person and a born leader.
Entrepreneurial spirit.
Absolutely. And she needed an outlet. And so they had this idea that she had a Girl Scout troop. And they wanted to take the Girl Scout troop on these canoe trips, and they wanted to go to the Buffalo River in Arkansas. And so they wanted to buy 12 Grumman aluminum canoes. And in order to get those 12, they needed to get a dealership. And so to get the dealership, they got some friends to buy half of them, and they got half of them for the Girl Scout troop. And that's sort of how the idea got implanted. And then they rented a little building on the river right where the Doubletree Hotel is now. And it was a 400 square foot little Acadian shack and opened for business in 1974. And so that's sort of the beginning. And I would say the story of the business is that it was always a family thing. So I have two brothers and two sisters, so there's 5 kids. And, we grew up working in the store, whether it was cutting the grass or loading up rental canoes or washing boats or, helping customers or wrapping gifts. And, it's something that, growing up doing this stuff, sometimes you love it, sometimes you don't love it.
Yeah, we're talking about that too, like when, you can love what you do, but it is still work at times. Even an adventure company, right? It's the great adventure is still some hard work. And I love seeing business owners, because getting to do this often, you get to see the kids showing up. We go to a coffee house called Who Ya Craft Coffee, and the kids always show up and they love them there, and they take pictures with them, and they'll go help do stuff, or, they'll get them to serve food to a customer. And I think that leaves such a lasting impression on them. My mom was an educator, and by happenstance, I'm now a technical trainer. So their careers often rub off on you in really positive ways, and obviously for you as well.
Yeah, there's a funny old Pack and Paddle legend story of in the early days, the little building didn't have a bathroom, and so my mom would bring us to work, and we'd be there, and so one day she had to go to the bathroom, so she'd walk across Peanut Road, which in those days was a 2-lane road.
You could do that back then. For those of you who don't know, trying that now probably wouldn't work.
And so anyway, while she was gone, a customer comes in, and my brothers were there, and they were probably, 10 years old. And so when my mom comes back, the guy says, "This is the strangest place. the employees can barely see over the counter, and if you want to try on clothes, you have to go out in the backyard.
That's so funny. Wow. Well, I think hearing about your mom and being an entrepreneur at a time when it probably wasn't obvious for a woman in business to be doing what she was doing. I heard an anecdote that she went to a trade show, and when she got there, all the men asked, "Are you looking for your husband?" And I thought that to be very, very interesting. But at the time, it probably wouldn't have been something like, well, why is she here? But it wouldn't have been obvious at that time frame. And it's hard for us, I guess, to imagine now, but then growing up in that time period, folks will say, yeah, to have someone to forge ahead and to build a business out of, not a hobby necessarily, but a recreational activity. I think that also baked in the realness of it. I meet lots of business owners who want to make a buck, and we all do, right? Just full disclosure, I'm in business. We want to be profitable. But it's different when it's an overflow of what you actually care about. And you can tell the difference between an authentic business that puts that energy and effort, and it reflects the kind of thing that you'd want. I work with Apple, and one of the things that Apple says is we don't want to ship anything we wouldn't use. And I think having that as your bedrock really shows up today, seeing the build out, seeing what you have, seeing the staff and the level of expertise and intimate understanding of these activities really, for almost 50 years now, you've carried that DNA. And that's something to be very proud of, because some companies lose that culture over time. But for y'all, it's like gumbo. The longer that it sits, the better it tastes. And that's, to me, you're a taste of Acadiana in terms of the retail experience. And I think that's really, really special. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, that's it for part 1 of this episode. So we're going to make sure that if you are watching this video, don't forget to hit that like button, crush the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with everything we're producing. We're so thankful to sit down with John, but hold tight. Part 2 is just around the corner. You'll get to hear more about his transition as owner and just a little bit more about what Pack and Paddle does for Acadiana. Anyway, as always, we hope you're doing well. We hope you're staying safe. We'll see you in the next one.